Welcome to Live Signing, brought to you by Premier Collectibles. Here, we go beyond the titles and dive deep into the heart and soul of each project. Get ready to explore the untold stories right here on Live Signing.
Hey everyone, I'm Jesse with Premier Collectibles. Welcome to Live Signing, again powered by Premier Collectibles. We are so honored and grateful to have Elle Macpherson with us today, promoting her new autobiography, Elle, Life Lessons and Learning to Trust Yourself. Elle, you've had an incredible career spanning modeling, business, travel, films, as well as have started various businesses in intimates and swimsuits and skincare, but then also relating to TV. You are the executive producer of Britain and Ireland's Next Top Model, as well as executive producer of NBC's Fashion Star. Folks, this book is out right now. You can get it, ellsignbook.com, and she'll be signing some as well. So make sure you get your copy. You can also use Elle15, ELLE15, to get 15% off, and that's this amazing book.
You know, it's been an interesting journey, because there's one thing writing a book and then getting it published, and then, you know, sharing that it's out is a whole other business in itself. You know, the book has its own life, obviously, but I'm excited for people to read it and live a more fulfilling life.
Awesome. Elle, so as you've had these conversations with people in front of you, that's what, you know, you just mentioned brought you to writing the book. Now that the book is out, people are reading it in their homes and coffee shops and so on and so forth. What is the one thing that you want people to take away from reading the book?
I think the most important thing is just to be yourself and bring that uniqueness into the world, and you'll find your purpose, you'll find direction. It's much easier to be you than anybody else, and life will be fulfilling and easy and flowful. More easy, more fulfilling, and more flowful.
Can I ask you something, I guess, that digs in a little bit into the process, but what were your most favorite parts and maybe even the most hardest parts about writing the book and penning some of these stories?
The hardest part for me was when the memories were flowing through me, and there's only so much the physical body could do, whether it be writing or typing on my phone. It was like the flow was coming through, and it took a while for the physical body to catch up with that rush of energy. And so it sort of really made me very aware of our physical limitations when it comes to spirit and to heart. And I think the funnest part was learning about technology, because I'm not very tech savvy, but I had to learn a lot, you know, with the editing process between the publishers and just a whole bunch of new techniques in using my computer. So It was fun to learn, you know, and I feel much more empowered because of it.
We've all seen trailers for movies and TV shows and different things, and they like to highlight some of the best parts and most unique parts about the project. Can I ask you what would be something that readers, something that would surprise them in the book, almost like a trailer?
Gosh, there's so many. I don't know which one to choose. I think the thing that seems to surprise people the most is that I was not confident in front of the camera, and I didn't really enjoy it. But I wanted the independence, and I wanted the direction, and I wanted the purpose that modeling could offer me, and living my life experiences in all the varied opportunities that I had meant that I sort of stepped into my courageous heart and just sort of found my way through those really uncomfortable times. But it was certainly not my favorite thing, being in front of the camera. But I did love what it brought me.
That's so good. That tenacity and that Aussie, that go-to spirit that I read about, that's amazing. What I can imagine pushed you into maybe some of these more uncomfortable situations, but the drive was there and the dedication was there.
Yeah, and the importance of giving it a go, you know, trusting yourself, trusting the universe, and just giving it a go if it moves your heart.
Love that so much. Fans that are just joining us again, I want to welcome Elle Macpherson to the live stream. You can get this book right now at ellsignbook.com. She'll be signing some as well. So make sure to use code L15, ELLE15 to get 15% off. Elle, I want to dig into some of the topics of the book that again just came through so eloquently. Addiction is such a vulnerable part of many people's lives. And I know it's not a one size fits all type of problem. Could you tell me a little bit about your experience and how you've related in the book?
Yeah, addiction is a really interesting and can be very painful affliction, in that it can sort of creep up on you, and it's quite hard to spot in the beginning. I believe addiction is any repetitive behavior that is self-damaging. And so, people sort of think of addiction as drugs and alcohol, but there are so many other sorts of addictions that we can have that are really self-damaging, like, being addicted to fear or to drama or to worry or anxiety, being addicted to people in relationships. And for me, the most important thing was to find what was behind that repetitive behavior. Why was I doing that? And there's 2 chapters in the book that are specifically dedicated to this. One is called Recovery, which shares my experience in recovery from addiction. And the other one is called How, which is honest, open, and willing, how to stop doing whatever you were doing. And those 2 chapters I really wrote for my reader and for anybody who is struggling in addiction in their life.
One of the other topics you talk about in the book is just your personal transformation and growing and kind of learning new things. I think a lot of us in our lives, we can just get so anchored in who we are and like, this is me and I'm not changing at all. Can you speak to the Aussie kind of give it a go, tenacity and spirit, and how someone can maybe break free from some of that and break free from some of that into personal transformation?
Yeah, transformation is our natural state of being. Actually, evolution is our natural state of being, and being willing to be flexible and adaptable. And I say in the book that I believe that adaptability is the superpower of the future. So courageously and trustingly stepping into the knowingness that we have the power to adapt and to be flexible in life, and that's where the growth is. And where the growth is where you are able to really bring your best self into the world and live your best life. So it's natural and it's imperative if we are to live a fulfilling life. I
think some of us, just kind of relating to the topic around that question, relates into kind of perfectionism. Like, I'm this way and I have to always be this way. So I've got to be the most perfect version of myself. Can you speak to some of those perfectionism tenacities and maybe how you broke free from that so you could adapt and change and experience new things?
Perfectionism is really, I think it's something that we all struggle with in some way. At least it's a theme throughout my book, throughout the chapters. And it's another one of those ones that just creep up on you. It's almost like you have a blind spot because society tells us that being perfect is an honorable trait. But what they don't understand, or what I've come to understand, put it this way, we are perfect just as we are. Just is what in this particular moment, because in that moment we have choices. When we are our pure selves, we have choices or decisions that we can make that help us grow and learn. And so even if it doesn't look how you would imagine your outcome to be, the learning or the lessons that we have through those experiences are actually perfect. So, and perfection is a journey. It's not a destination. And as we grow and evolve, we see that everything it unfolds perfectly the way it's meant to if we learn from it.
Looking back at your career, what's some advice that you would give to some folks that are just coming out, or even that they're continuing to be in the fashion industry, looking at your highs and lows and reflecting on that? What's some advice that you would give newcomers?
Well, some of the highs in my career were hosting Saturday Night Live, and it wasn't actually the hosting part. It was the preparation that the week before, working with the writers and working with very creative people in a collaborative way. I learned so much about myself. I was way out of my comfort zone, sort of striving through those uncomfortabilities and the fear of not being good was so freeing. So that was a real high for me. And one of the lows was thinking I made mistakes. And then realizing, obviously, it became a high again when I realized there are no mistakes if you learn from it. So if I was advising somebody who is just starting out, is to remember there are no mistakes. Give it a go. Trust your intuition, your inner sense. It's at least as, valuable as your common sense. And, use your heart as a compass. And you'll always find your way.
That's right. I love that so much. All right. Another question I had was you've been able to share with the world some incredible products in clothing and skincare and different elements like that. Now you're giving a book to the world that again is just so poignant and so incredible. Can you talk about just the differences in almost the rollout of not that it's a product, but this amazing story as it is relates to some of the other things that you've shared with the world?
It's interesting because I've had sort of decades of crossroads. So the first one came in my 30s when I became a mother to my sons, and I had a sort of understanding, a greater understanding of what it meant to be well. Before that, I just thought wellness was like, fitness. And I understood when I became a mother, the importance of nutrition and being sort of emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually balanced. So that was sort of like the beginning of my awakening in my 30s. In my 40s, I got sober, and that deepened my understanding of the interrelationship between what happens to your body physically and what's going on inside you emotionally and spiritually. And then I brought those 20 years of understanding, or those 2 decades of understanding, in my 50s to creating a wellness business called Wellco, where I reached a crossroads in my own health, and I realized that I was feeling a sense of lack of vitality. My hair was dry, my skin was dry, I was putting on weight, and I didn't know what was wrong. I realized I couldn't rely on genetics anymore. And I decided, I went on a journey, and I found an incredible nutritionist. I changed my diet, and I started with these greens. There were 50 ingredients: vitamins, minerals, probiotics, and prebiotics. I really wanted to share this with other women. So at 50, I started a new business called Wellco. And this is at a time where people are sort of winding down in their careers, in my business at least. And so it was a really interesting journey, sort of sharing with people my story and offering a solution and tools and information and wonderful products that can support people through these changes in their life. And now at 60 with my book is an even more deepening of my own journey. So whilst they have some business coefficient to them, they're really just the result of my own wellness journey and my own experiences that I'm bringing to the world in order to share with others with the aim to help people. It's a purpose bigger than myself, really. Bigger than the business. You asked specifically about the book. I found that, there's one thing writing a book, and this was 4 years of very considered editing, really, of my life. It's by no means an autobiography, really, or a memoir. It doesn't really fit into that spectrum in the sense that there's no real structure to it. I don't include everything in my life in it. I've curated it in such a way that I've included experiences that I thought would be valuable for the reader, things that I've learned from that I want to share with the reader. And there was one thing writing it, but there's a whole other thing getting out and selling it, which I didn't anticipate, and I don't know why. In order to share it with people, you need to get out and let people know about it, and that's what I'm doing now with the book.
Well, I love that. It's almost you were writing a book with your wellness business, and now you've continued to write the book. This amazing book here. I don't know, fans will just have to stay tuned to see what's next after the last chapter. But on that note, fans that are just joining us, again, we want to welcome Elle Macpherson. Thank you so much for your time. You can get this signed edition at ellsignedbook.com, and make sure to use the code L15 ELLE15 at checkout. All right, we're going to move into one of our fan favorites in our live signings, and it's our rapid fire 15 questions in 60 seconds. So we'll see what we can do, right? I think fans will know this because of your accent, but where were you born?
I was born in Sydney, Australia in 1964. I'm 60 and celebrating.
Happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
What was your first job?
I worked in a pharmacy. I worked on Thursday nights and Saturday morning. I earned $13 a week. It was my first step into being independent financially.
What is the one thing that you have in your fridge at all times, no matter what?
Ooh, can I say 2? That would be Bon soy milk and dark chocolate.
Dark.
Need a little dark chocolate.
Yeah. Who is the most interesting person that you have met recently?
Doyle Bramhall II, my love.
That's so sweet.
And he is.
What is your middle name?
The body.
Yes.
That just popped in.
That's great. What is your biggest pet peeve though?
I would have to say electronics. I am so not tech savvy. It is very frustrating in this day and age.
What is your favorite hobby? What do you love to do?
I love to be with friends and I love to listen to music.
Do you have a guilty pleasure TV show?
There is never any guilt in my pleasure. But if I had to pick a TV show that I love at the moment, it would be The Last Kingdom, which is a Viking series. And I had a bit of a flash on Outlander there for a while, obsessed, which is so romantic and so sweet. It's a beautiful little series.
Apart from dark chocolate, what is another guilty pleasure junk food?
No guilt in my dark chocolate either.
Do you have any pets? And if so, what are their names?
I did have a pet, a Labradoodle called Moon, and now she's floating in the ether, sharing her love with everybody. Oh, Moony.
So sweet. Of course, in American culture, we have different vernacular and all sorts of crazy words that that we use. Leaning on your time in Australia, what was your favorite word that you love to use in Australia?
I think my favorite word anywhere in any language is love, because that's what we're here to do, is to give and receive love, to love ourselves, to love the universe, to love life itself, and to love others.
So well said. So well said. You mentioned this earlier about your hobbies and listening to music. What was the last artist that you streamed?
Probably Jeff Buckley. Hallelujah. I sent it to my dad and I listened to it again. I mean, he was so phenomenal.
Such an amazing song. Oh, listen to the song while you're reading this book, folks.
Or listen to the audiobook if you can't get one of these, because they're going fast apparently.
Where is one place you haven't gone that you would love to go?
I would love to go to Mongolia. I'd like to ride horses on the steppes of the Mongolian mountains.
Oh, good. That'd be amazing. What is your favorite color?
White, which is all the colors together in the spectrum.
And our last question, would you rather have a year-long winter or a year-long summer?
Yes.
Yes. That's my favorite answer to that question ever. I love it so much. Elle, I want to thank you so much for your time and digging into the book. And fans, please get this book as soon as you can. Read through it. Mirror your experiences with what Elle has written about this book, and go out and love each other, as Elle just said. Make sure you get the book at LiveSigning.com and using the code L15 at checkout for 15% off. Elle, if someone walked into the elevator with you, what would be your elevator pitch on this book?
This book will give you a lot of tools to help make your life better, or to change your life for the better. How's that? Was that quick enough?
That was awesome. That's
tools
perfect.
to change your life for the better.
Perfect. And use L15, right?
And use L15.
Elle, again, thank you so very much for your time. Is there anything else that you'd like to close us out with?
Just appreciate you guys tuning in, and I hope you get your hands on a copy of the book. And I had so much joy writing it for you.
All right, fans, go check out lsignbook.com. This has been Live Signing, brought to you by Premier Collectibles. We'll catch you next time.
Hey, thanks so much everyone for tuning in. To hear more about past and even future live signings, check out premiercollectibles.com.